The auction house smelled of old money and older secrets. Lot 247 sat beneath a burgundy velvet cloth, waiting. When they pulled the fabric away, gasps rippled through the crowd. The mirror's frame was Art Deco, perfection gilded curves, geometric precision, the kind of craftsmanship that died with its era. But it was the provenance that made pulses quicken. From the personal bedroom of Marilyn Monroe, removed 3 days after her death in August 1962, the bidding started at $50,000. It ended at $475. Richard Castellano didn't believe in curses. He believed in investment in artifacts that appreciated in the currency of celebrity death. The mirror would look perfect in his Bel Air home, mounted in the guest bedroom where his clients would see it, where they would know the kind of man he was, connected to history, to glamour, to tragedy, transformed into asset. The first night he hung it himself. Alone in the house, he positioned it across from the bed, adjusting the angle until the reflection captured the room perfectly. For a moment, just a fraction of a second, he thought he saw blonde hair in the silver surface. But when he looked directly, there was only his own face, older than he wanted to admit, staring back. He slept poorly. His dreams were filled with perfumed Chanel No. 5, heavy and cloying, so thick he could taste it. And humming. Someone humming, "Diamonds are a girl's best friend," just beyond the edge of hearing, like a radio playing in another room. When he woke at 3:17 a.m., the humming hadn't stopped. Richard sat up slowly. The sound was coming from the mirror, not from behind it, not from the wall, from inside the glass itself, as if someone stood on the other side of that silver surface, pressed close, mouth almost touching. He turned on the light. The humming stopped. The mirror reflected only the empty room. Stress, he told himself. Bad sushi. But his hands were shaking as he typed into his phone. Marilyn Monroe mirror haunted. The search results were rabbit hole. Forums, Reddit threads, a blog post from a psychic in Pasadena who claimed she'd seen the mirror at the auction and felt overwhelming despair. Richard scrolled through testimonials from previous owners, 5 in total, since 1962. A Hollywood producer who'd owned it in the 70s, a collector in Japan, an English aristocrat, a tech entrepreneur. 3 of them were dead. The other 2 had sold the mirror at significant losses, refusing to explain why. One forum post, anonymous, dated 6 months prior: "If you see her smile in the reflection, don't smile back. Whatever you do, don't acknowledge that you can see her." Richard's mouth went dry. He looked up from his phone. In the mirror, something moved. Not his reflection. Something behind his reflection, deeper in the glass where depth shouldn't exist. A shape. Blonde hair catching light that wasn't there. And yes, a smile. The famous smile, the one that had sold 1 million magazines, launched 1,000 fantasies. But wrong. All wrong. The curve of those lips held no joy, only hunger. Richard's heart hammered against his ribs. He wanted to look away, but the face in the mirror held him. She was clearer now, stepping forward through layers of silver and shadow. The white dress from the 7-year itch, the beauty mark. Everything perfect, except the eyes. Those were holes, empty spaces where starlight died. His phone buzzed. A text from his ex-wife. "Did you buy that mirror?" "Richard, call me, please. I need to tell you something about my grandfather." But Richard couldn't move, couldn't breathe. because Marilyn's reflection was raising one hand, pressing it against the inside of the glass, and her mouth was opening, and the humming was back. But now he could hear the words beneath the melody. Do you know what it's like to be looked at but never seen? To be desired but never known? His own reflection was changing. His face was smoothing, softening, blonde hair bleeding into the dark. His eyes were widening, lips parting into that famous pout. The mirror was showing him what he would become, what she wanted him to become. Richard lunged backward, scrambling off the bed. His phone clattered to the floor. In the mirror, his reflection didn't move with him. It stayed on the bed, transforming, that smile spreading wider and wider until it split the face apart. He ran. Down the hallway, down the stairs, out into the night air, where everything was real and solid and blessedly mundane. His neighbor's sprinklers hissed across a manicured lawn. A car drove past, headlights sweeping the street. Normal, safe. His phone was still upstairs. His wallet, his keys. Everything was upstairs with the mirror. Richard stood barefoot on his driveway, wearing only boxer shorts and a t-shirt, and understood with perfect clarity that he could never go back inside. Not tonight. Not ever. He drove to a hotel using his car's emergency credit card. He called a moving company at 7 a.m. Everything in the guest bedroom. I want it in storage by noon. Don't look in the mirror. I'll pay triple. The supervisor laughed. Sir, we're professionals. We don't. Triple. And I'm serious about not looking. They charged him $8,000. Worth every penny. But Richard's problems didn't end when the mirror left his house. They had only just begun. The dreams intensified. Every night, Marilyn visited him. Sometimes she was the girl from the photos, innocent, radiant, wounded. Sometimes she was the corpse they'd found on August 5th, 1962, naked on her bed, empty pill bottles scattered around her. And sometimes she was something else entirely, something that had never been human, something that had worn Marilyn Monroe like a costume, and now wanted a new body to inhabit. You looked at me, she whispered in his dreams. You wanted me. Everyone always wants me. But you bought me, Richard. You paid for me. That makes you mine. He sold the mirror online. Didn't mention the provenance this time, just listed it as vintage Art Deco mirror. Excellent condition. A college student in Portland bought it for $600. She emailed him 3 days later. What the fuck did you sell me? Richard didn't respond. He'd blocked her email, deleted his account, tried to forget. But you can't forget something that won't let you go. His ex-wife finally reached him. They met at a coffee shop in Santa Monica, and she looked older than he remembered, worn down by something beyond years. My grandfather owned that mirror, she said. In 1964, he was an estate lawyer, handled some of Marilyn's things after she died. He kept the mirror. Within a month, he was seeing things. Within 2 months, he couldn't tell reflection from reality. He died in a psychiatric hospital. Richard. He died looking at a wall, talking to someone who wasn't there. Why didn't you tell me before? I didn't know you'd bought it until I saw your Instagram post. Jesus. Richard, you posed with it. He had a selfie, him standing beside his new acquisition, grinning like an idiot. 73 likes. In the photo, visible in the mirror's reflection, a blonde woman stood behind him. He'd never noticed her before. Never seen her while taking the picture. But she was there. She'd always been there. She's not a ghost, his ex-wife said. That's what my grandfather figured out before he died. She's not Marilyn's spirit. She's something that fed on Marilyn, something that consumed her loneliness and despair and need, something that grew fat on her suffering. And when she died, it was trapped in that mirror, the last thing she looked at before she didn't finish, didn't need to. How do I stop it? Richard asked. You can't. You can only pass it on. The college student in Portland stopped answering emails after 2 weeks. Her roommate posted on social media that she'd had a breakdown, was hospitalized, kept talking about a beautiful woman who visited her at night and whispered secrets about fame and death and the price of being desired. The mirror disappeared from their apartment. Campus security had no record of it being removed. 3 months later, it appeared on eBay. No description, no seller history, just a photo and a price, 99 cents, free shipping. Richard tracked the listing obsessively, watched as the bids climbed, watched as someone in Tokyo won it, felt something like relief. But the dreams didn't stop. Because he'd looked, he'd seen her. He'd wanted her, even in death, even transformed into something terrible. His desire had opened a door, and doors like that don't close just because you move the key. Now when Richard looks in any mirror, bathroom, car, storefront window, there's a chance she'll be there, standing behind him, smiling that wrong smile, getting closer. His therapist says it's PTSD, a psychological response to stress and guilt. His priest says it's a demon, wearing the face of the dead. Richard thinks they're both right and both wrong. She's not Marilyn Monroe. She's what we made Marilyn Monroe become, the goddess, the fantasy, the perfect reflection of our desires. We looked at her so hard, wanted her so desperately, that we burned away the real woman and left only the image, the icon, the thing that stares back from posters and photographs and mirrors. And now that thing is hungry. It's hungry for everyone who ever looked at Marilyn and saw only what they wanted to see. Everyone who consumed her image, bought her photographs, made her into an object. It's hungry for you. Richard knows this because last night, for the first time, he saw himself clearly in his bathroom mirror. His real self. The person he'd become through years of treating people as assets, viewing relationships as transactions, collecting trophies human and otherwise. And he understood that Marilyn, or the thing wearing her face, wasn't hunting him as punishment. She was trying to show him the truth. We're all reflections, all surfaces, all images without depth. We look at each other and see only what we desire, never what's actually there. We consume and discard and collect, never realizing that every act of objectification feeds something vast and hungry, lurking behind the silver surface of the world. Marilyn was just the first, the most beautiful, the most desired, the most consumed. But she won't be the last. Richard's house is empty now. He gave away most of his possessions, kept only what he needs. He's searching for the mirror, not to destroy it. He doesn't think it can be destroyed, but to find it, to track it, to warn whoever owns it next. It's not much. It's probably futile, but it's the only way he can sleep at night. When the humming starts and he knows she's standing just beyond his reflection, waiting for him to look, waiting for him to smile back, waiting for him to understand what she understood in those final moments before the pills took effect, before the mirror claimed her. Fame doesn't make you immortal, but hunger does. And America's hunger for beauty and tragedy and the beautiful tragic has been feeding something in the dark for generations. Something that wears familiar faces. Something that smiles from photographs and screens and mirrors. Something that's looking back at you right now. Don't smile back. Whatever you do, don't acknowledge that you can see it. Because once you do, it sees you too. And it never ever looks away.